In question 6, we're given a bar graph to look at and then answer questions about. So the bar graph's based on how long does it take to adjust to work after a vacation. We see that it takes 38% of the people 1 day, 32% of the people we asked a few days, and 16% of the people no time at all. The first question it asked is, are all opinions accounted for? So the way we're going to figure this out is see if we add to 100%. If we take 38 plus 32, that gives me 70, plus 16 gives me 86. So no, all the opinions aren't accounted for. Here we only have 86% of the total opinions. That means we have 100 minus 86, or 14% unaccounted for. The way we're going to account for it is we're going to put in a new bar. It's going to be slightly lower than our no time bar. We're going to label it 14, and we'll call it other as a catch-all category to include anything else that could have been said. Reasonably, you could say, instead of a few days, more than a few days might be the name of this bar, but you might also have people who say they never recovered from the vacation. I'm not exactly sure what else would go in. I know that in Cengage, they call the bar other. Is the bar chart accurate? So really what we want to do is compare the bars, make sure they're the same relative size, that they line up where they should go on our scale. 38 goes to about 38, 32, 16, 14. I think the bar chart is accurate. I'm going to say yes. It has proper labels. I think it's good. Make a pie chart from the data. If we're asked to make a pie chart here, normally we'd want to calculate what the proportions were, so we'd want to take part over total. In this case, since it's out of 100%, we can just change these to decimals. We know that 1 day is going to equal 0.38, few is going to equal 0.32, no time is going to equal 0.16, and other is going to equal 0.14. If we multiply these by 360, 0.38 times 360 gives me 137. 0.32 times 360 gives me 115. 0.16 times 360 gives me 58. And 0.14 times 360 gives me 50. So when you're doing this, you're really just asked to choose from here's 5 possible graphs. It's easier than what I'm doing. You don't need to know how to do these conversions. That said, I'm trying to make the pie chart, and then it would be the one that looks like this that you would choose. Here I'm going to start with the biggest angle. It's 137. I know that a 90-degree angle is a quarter of the circle. I know that 180 is half the circle. It's somewhere in between those two. So I'm going to go like this to make that pie piece. I'm going to label this 1 day, which again was 38%. Next biggest piece is 115. This should be slightly more than a 90-degree angle, so let's call it like that. That was off a few days. And we're going to label that 32%. When we break up this remaining area, we want one section, no, to be slightly larger than the other section, other. So I'm going to go close to the middle, but make one smaller than the other. I'm going to label this one other. I'm going to label this one no. And 16%. That's a decent pie chart. Again, you just need to choose the one that has the correct percentages with the correct bars with the correct names. Last thing, ask me which graph is more interesting. It's a little bit of a weird question. I think they're going to accept either one that you say. To me, the pie chart's more interesting because it's easier for me to compare relative sizes. When I have these things, I can see that this piece of the pie is more than twice as big as either of these pieces of the pie. I would say that for me, the pie chart's more interesting to compare the relative differences in what people said in the survey. But I think you can make a valid argument for the bar graph being easier to compare, saying that it's easier to make the distinction between raw distance that you go for each of these. Really, it's an open-ended question that can be answered a lot of ways.